The sun burned fiercely over Samaria. The dusty road shimmered with heat as a lone woman approached the well of Jacob, an hour when no one else came. Her jar was heavy, but her heart was heavier. She walked with her eyes low, her steps slow, her mind full of whispers that clung to her like dust. She was known in her town, but not for goodness. She had been the subject of gossip, judgment, and rejection. 5 husbands had left her, and the man she now lived with was not her husband. So she came at noon, when the world was quiet, when no other woman would be there, to draw water and hide her shame. But on this day, someone was waiting for her. A man sat at the well, weary from the journey, his clothes dusty, his posture calm, his eyes steady. He looked at her, not through her, but into her. "Give me a drink," he said. She froze. "How is it that you, a Jew, ask drink of me, a Samaritan woman?" Jews and Samaritans had no dealings. Their hatred was ancient, their boundaries deep. But this man crossed both. "If you knew the gift of God," he said softly, "and who it is that asks you, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." She frowned, glancing at the well. "Sir, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where then do you get this living water?" He smiled, and the air seemed to still. "Whoever drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water I shall give him will never thirst." Her tone changed, a flicker of longing in her eyes. "Sir, give me this water, that I may not thirst nor come here to draw." Then he said gently, "Go, call your husband and come back." Her breath caught, her heart thudded in her chest. "I have no husband," she said quietly. "You have spoken truth," he replied, "for you have had 5 husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband." She froze. How did he know? How could this stranger read her story like scripture? Her shame rose like dust, but strangely, there was no condemnation in his eyes, only compassion. "Sir," she whispered, trembling, "I perceive that you are a prophet." He looked at her as if he had waited for her all her life. "The hour is coming, and now is, when true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth." She tried to look away, tried to hide, but his words stripped her pain of its power. Then she said, "I know that Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will tell us all things." He leaned forward slightly, his voice barely above a whisper. "I, who speak to you, am he." Time stopped. The air was alive. Her heart pounded, not in shame, but in awe. The jar slipped from her hand, water spilling across the sand, but she didn't care. She turned and ran toward the city, shouting, "Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Christ?" The people she once avoided now followed her voice. The woman who hid now became a messenger. Her testimony brought a town to Jesus. That day, the well of shame became the well of salvation. The place of isolation became the birthplace of revival. And the woman who came empty left overflowing. Lessons. Jesus does not avoid broken people. He meets them where they hide. Grace doesn't erase your past, it redeems it into purpose. What you hide from men can still be healed by God. Sometimes the shortest road to revival begins with one honest confession. God will meet you at your lowest hour to lift you to your highest call. The living water of Christ flows strongest through cracked vessels. Shame loses its power when spoken in the presence of mercy. You are never too unworthy for a conversation with grace. God can turn the well of regret into the altar of encounter. The message of your life begins where your pain once silenced you.